So today I have a story about happiness and a hunger for today to share to you all. I have a story that on you will see the picture. You will have the happiness for the pers- person who like food and happy with their food, and you will see the small picture. He is like a homeless people. So why I talk about this story? Because of I have a story about the little girls and the homeless people, about happiness and hunger. So let's see the story. So you will see the story. The little girls, she gave the food to the homeless man. So and when she gave, you will see her face. She feels like happy. And when the homeless receive the food, he also happy. But the happy is not end of this story, because of the homeless is like he is a brother of the one person that she cannot connect with him because of he disappeared from his home, and the last they will she will meet him again. So when we give something to another person, your mind will feel happy, your mind will go bigger, and the receiver also happy. So this is, I think, it's a true happiness that you feel. So I have another video to share to you to explain more.
The word happiness is quite ambiguous both in English and in the Bali language. This word has many varied meanings and applications. It is often difficult to understand exactly what people mean when they say the word happiness. The usual happiness that common people are interested in is when our hunger or want is satisfied. This kind of happiness can never really be satisfied. The many things that arouse hunger are always changing. Whatever satisfies hunger changes, making that satisfaction fleeting and illusory, and so hunger returns. By the time you get something, you may be hungering for something else. This situation is eternal. Economies produce things to consume, and we are educated to value such consumption above all else. Consequently, the modern world is trapped in an endless problem. Where are you going to find happiness in such a world? The newborn infant is happy when it is cuddled in its mother's arms and sucks milk from her breast. When it grows a little older, it learns about other foods and delights. Now its happiness depends on ice cream, candy, and junk food, on playing little games and running around the house. Then it grows older and it wants to play football or play with dolls. Then as teenagers, their happiness revolves around sex. When they become young men or women, don't expect them to be satisfied with the old types of happiness. Finally, they're being married, become wives or husbands, and their wishes tied up in a house, money, and possessions. The human being changes from stage to stage, so happiness also changes from stage to stage, as does hunger for happiness. In Buddhism, these all are considered examples of worldly happiness that only deceives and confuses.
Okay, so you listen the story already. So why we should share or giving? So the result when we sharing is the giver will is loved by many people, and number two is peaceful man associate with the giver, and the third, the beautiful reputation of the general giver. The fourth, the giver is happy, and the giver can lift the mind up. The first is the giver is loved by many people because often you give something to another people who receive will like you because of they receive something that may be free or something or discount. It's not only give from the stuff. You can give another thing like help or support them to do something. It's like you use your energy to help. Like you can, when you give something that your mom feel proud of you, like you help her to clean your house, your mom will be happy because of you give your energy to do something like clean a house or wash a clothes. Number two is peaceful man will associate with the giver. It means when the another people know that you are giver, the good man will be come to you. I think it's not only good. It's everyone will come to you because of you are the giver and they want to receive. The third is the beautiful reputation of the general giver. It means you will have famous. Everyone will know. And the fourth is the giver is happy. I think this is you will know with yourself if you give something or support something already, your mind will be bigger. So the last, the giver can lift the mind up. Why the giver can lift the mind up? Because of you live by you like decrease your stingy mind down because of you can help another person. Like when you have the glass and you pour the water out, the wedge of the gas will be lighter. So it means you push your stingy mind out of your mind. Your mind will be higher like that. I have a story about this is refer from the true story and it's like a Thai story. So we have a subtitle you should read.
ออกมานี่เลยนะไอ้ขี้ขโมยไหนดูสิเอาอะไรไปออกมานี่ฮะถามว่าเอาไปทำอะไรเอาไปให้แม่
เดี๋ยวเจ๊แป๊บนึงแม่ป่วยเหรอ
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
หมวยเกาเหลาจ๋อนั่งเลยครับนั่งเลย
ป๊า
จัดไปสั่งมาเร็วต่ออะไร
So oh
ออกมานี่เลยนะ
sorry you will watch the story about the boy that he still stole something from the drugstore to like stole the painkiller and another drug to give to his mother. That time he like a thief that steal something, and mm, and the drug dealer is very upset because of he steal something. So you will see the merchants who like sell of food. He come to face this problem, and he will give the money to the drug dealer, and he ordered to his daughter to bring some food to the boy for giving forgive his mother too. So and the time passed, you will see he also sell the food, and you will see the baker always come to his shop and bake some food. He always give the food to the beggar, and then he will sick, completely sick, like have an accident, and he fall down, and like have an effect at his brain. So the cost of the curing cost is too expensive, and the daughter don't have much money to pay. So that the doctor is a boy in the past who like a thief, that he will pay all the medi- medical costs for free to them. When you know this story, you will see when you give something, you don't want to receive anything to receiver. You don't want any fruit of the giving, but you still give because of you want to make another people feels happy. So when you watch this story, I have a question. If this story like occur to you, who you are in that story when this situation occur to you? So first, you will be the boy who steal, or the second, you will the food vendor. The third, you will be the drug dealer who always angry because of some people did bad to her. Or you will be the daughter because of the daughter is when his her father order her to order her to bring the food, you will see her face, she like a little bit upset why she have to give like that. Or you be another, you will be the beggar, always beg for everything, or you only be the audience. This is I talk about who are you because of you will like suppose that this decision occur to you who you will be. Maybe you are the food vendor, or sometimes you will be only the audience. I don't want to join this story. So this is if you in this situation, and you should look at yourself what you will be, and this is mean who about your giving mind in yourself. If you will be a food vendor, you like a really giver, really true giver. And when you give something to the beggar, sometimes you don't don't like look down to the beggar. It's only beggar. They always beg. Maybe they are not a nice person, like a lazy person or something. If you think like this, is sometimes make your mind like uh, a little bit stingy, and you will pour your mind. But when you give something to another person, sometimes you should think about they come to beg us. This is a good chance that you can did good, do good. You can give something. If no beggar, if maybe no one you can sharing or something like this. This is the point of view that the person can you used to be. You be the first or the second for the view that you will be. So I have another story. It is how to become a rabbit on the moon. Is once upon a time there was a rabbit, and the rabbit is live in the forest in the middle of the valley surrounded by the river. And there were three other animals as a friends. We have a monkey, a fox, and an otter. There are four animals, moral animals. Every night they would meet and listen to the summon of the rabbit. One day, the rabbit looked at the moon and know that tomorrow is a full moon day. And the rabbit gave a sermon and said that tomorrow, let's keep the preset and let's share, because of there are many merits. So let's prepare the food to share with the beggar. The three breeds returned to their place, and next morning, the hunter caught the several fish, it's about 7 fish, and burned it and buried them into the sand and cross the river and like leave the fish, and he think he will come back to to get to get the fish again. So the otter is looking for the food, and it smell the fish. So it go to the fish place, and so it asks 3 times, like shout 3 times for find the person who will be the owner of the fish, and no one show up to show their ownerships. So the otter took all the fish back to its place and sleep and observe to the precepts. As for the monkey who went into the forest to get the mangoes, it went back to its place and lie down and observe the precepts. The rabbit also kept the precepts in its place and didn't go out to find the food for him to eat because of I think he will eat the leaf or the grass, so he will don't want to find the food because of sometimes the grass or the leaf cannot eat for the human. So and it says if someone asks for the food and it he don't have it, so it will give him our fresh. He thought like that and lay down. When the time passed, because of the power that the three or the four breeds try to keep the precepts, the they were in the heavens. It feel that they came down to prove the ritual of four breeds. He transformed into the Brahma or Brahmin, and he come to the author residence first, and then he begged author for the food. The author said, "The Brahman, I'm had a several fish for you. Please eat it." So after that, he bring the food and go to another place, go to the fox place. So and ask the food for the fox, and the fox said, "Oh, I keep the food for the long time. I have I had 2 sticks of roast beef, so I gave you." The Brahmin took it and went to the monkey place and asked for the food as usual. The monkey gave him a food and said to Brahmin, I had a ripe mangoes and cold water, and I live under the tree, so I have the shade of the tree. Please eat and rest first." After that, the Brahmin took the food and went to the rabbit place and asked for the food as usual. The rabbit was delighted and said to Brahmin, "Yes, please light a fire. I had nothing to offer you besides only my meat. Please eat me." Then he said, and then the Brahmin like lighting the fire in the forest and asked rabbit to jump to the fire. So the rabbit like he get up from the glass and shake his fur to chase the other animals out of his fur because of he want to jump to the fire. He don't want another animals like die with him, and he feel rejoicing and not afraid of the death and jump into the fire. But he was amazing because of the fires. The fire was so cold. So he asked the Brahmin, I really want to to give my meat to you. Why you do like this? The Brahmin says, I come to this for proof that you want to keep the pieces and taste you to like you will give your meat to you your meat to another people. So the rabbit replied, yes, and asked to the Brahmin that I hope to try, and if I like not successful to give my meat to you, and how then the other people or the this world know that my desire of my life for the giving is mean the rabbit want other people to know that he is the giver. He decides to give his life to be a meat for the beggar. So when the Brahmin know like that, he will like become to be a deva on the heaven, and then he said that this is power of me. I will image a rabbit, and the rabbit was rotten on the moon as a symbol for the world to see every sin's seen, and then when it's back to the God's world. And after that, you will see the moon will be have a rabbit image at there for the size that the rabbit is a giver. So the fruit of the giving is will be a lot like the the food vendor and the rabbit that it want to the good thing. You will never know what you will receive after you giving. So but you will know now when you give, it means you will be feel happy. You will feel happy. So giving and sharing, giving means giving with the sincerity and no expectation of return. When we give, there will be merit, and that merit will be held to desire a life for us to have a lot of wealth and not be poor. So this is for me for today. When you give and you use feel the action that you do good and recognize it before you meditate, your mind will like will be happy and clear. This is the good way when you want to like more relaxed and more comfortable when you want to meditate. sometimes you have to think another thing that you did good in the past and keep it inside, and your mind will be happy and joyful with think the good thing first, so you cannot think the bad thing. If you think the bad thing when you meditate, it make you feel sad and depressed. So it's just one it's an obstacle for the meditation. So this is the story for today I share to you all. Thank you for listening to me. Okay. Any question? Everyone understand?
Satu Kha, we really appreciate your stories today, Khao Lung Pi. You prepare many stories for us, and everything is about giving and sharing. So we really appreciate your giving and sharing today, for sharing your stories with all of us today. So we receive a lot of wisdom. I think I can say that is the wisdom of thought, that we can apply the knowledge, that wisdoms in our daily lives, and it will be very useful for all of us as well. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your kindness. Satu Kha. Anyone would like to share your story about giving today? Because the topic of today is about giving. Anyone would like to share your experience?